I got the cabbage cut up and the spinach and cauliflower and broccoli, and I put it all in the pan together with some frozen onions and salt and pepper and a little garlic. We're just going to let this cook down here. We've got our pork in the Instapot. Got the cabbage chopped. There's enough. I'm going to save this. Cut that off. Save that for Mother's coleslaw. And then let me get a bag and I'll cut this so that I can use it. Put that in my bag and then I'll have it. I'll take some of that. I don't want that whole stem up there because it'll be, that's that stalk in there and I don't like using that to eat. So with that broccoli and cauliflower and spinach leaves, let's see if I had any extra spinach leaves left over from the other package. I don't think I did. I want to make sure because on Sunday I try to kind of clean out what I need. So that cabbage and the broccoli and the cauliflower and all that all need to be cooked. So we're going to boil them down. Put that on about a 4. So we've got that, and we've got the pork in the, like I said, in the Instapot. Got the cabbage. I'm gonna put this back. Look at these big old red homegrown tomatoes. They're gonna be good with this barbecue. Okay. Now then, I'll be back when I get this board done. We'll check our greens and spinach and cauliflower. That's getting a little better. So what I'm going to do is I'll see if it's got enough. I'm going to get a little cornstarch. We'll get just a little bit of cornstarch and I'm going to put it right in there. Get a little water. I don't know. A little water out of my dispenser. I get a room temperature because if you get too hot it'll make this lump up. You don't want lumpy. While that's boiling, let me just kind of take my finger and see if there's still not enough salt in that because I didn't figure there would be. So I'm going to put just about a teaspoon of salt in that. I'll put a little bit of paprika. Just about a half teaspoon and a teaspoon. Let's go ahead and get us a little bit of salt. Pepper. Now, that made kind of a little soupy vegetable. There's one of those, let's see. Oh, that's all right. A little piece of that cauliflower I saw had a little brown place on it. Yeah, there, I got it. Now, I'm just going to get this back up to a boil, kind of. I'm just going to make a little sauce on this. Not that we have to. I'm just going to put my cornstarch in there and just let that cook a little bit. Now kind of, and I'll put a little bit of sugar in it, just a little bit of sugar, just to give it just a hair of sweetness like you do your cabbage. You can do it this way, and that'll kind of thicken that up. Give a little less. I don't like wasting, so I just put it out of my glass back into my pond. Okay. Now then, let me get my baking soda, my baking powder. Well, I know I haven't do this. So let me get me a bowl. Gotta mix this. I don't know how big a bowl I need. I think I'm gonna need bigger than that. Well, I'll just get the old I'll get get this out of the way. This is from the mixer. I had a little black on that for the mixer. This is the old General Electric mixing bowl. And all those years of that mixing in there has made little black spots on it. There's not much you can do to it. A little bread, out of bread today, y'all. Let me get that cornmeal. Alright, now let's stir this and go ahead and turn it down. See, that's starting to get thick again. Now once that cools, that'll get down a lot thicker. See there? That's some good. Got some Louisiana hot sauce to put on that. So let's pull that off. Let's just go ahead and pull that off. Cornmeal out of here. Let me see how many cups I need. I think 2 cups. So, let me get 2 cups. Cornmeal. Let's see, then I think a half a cup all-purpose flour or additional cornmeal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my buttermilk bacon, pioneer bacon mix. So let me get this open and get us a half a cup. Give us a half a cup. Right there, we'll do it. Half a cup. Right there. Just half a cup of our pioneer bacon mix. So you can add white lily flour, you can add whatever you want. And today we're going to add that. Sometimes I use this egg replacer. If somebody can't have eggs, I have it. And I have almond flour and all kind of flour. But today it's just Mother and I, and I'm going to make this old cornmeal. Now let me shake my buttermilk. I'm going to put 2 cups. Full fat. You want that full fat buttermilk. There's 1. There's 2. I should have mixed that together, but I didn't have time. Let me get this back in my icebox. Now, while that pan was, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to use a little squeezed butter in this just to, because I don't want to mess that other. I'm going to just put butter on my cornbread pan today instead of grease. While I'm doing that though, I'm going to go ahead and take my, let me chop this. I was fixing to just put that in there, but I can't. I've got to chop it or it won't work well. That was I remember the bacon I cut up and I rendered down. Well, that'll give it a good outside crunch on this cornbread if you'll fry that down in your skillet before you put your batter in there. Oh, okay. And make sure. I'm just gonna fry that a little bit, and then I'm gonna put it in my. Make sure all it's in there. Just kind of. We'll coat our pan a little bit. You can just leave it in there. You don't have to put it in your. Let that fry down like that. That's still on off, you know. I didn't turn it back on. I'm just letting it kind of heat up because that stove is still hot. All right. Now I still got to put. Let's see. I'm gonna put a tablespoon of baking powder. Tablespoon. Now this is that aluminum free, okay? There's a tablespoon of the baking powder that's aluminum free. And then I'm gonna put a half teaspoon of my baking soda. Just half teaspoon of baking soda. Don't seem like a lot, but it makes a difference. Okay. Now then, I'm gonna I got fresh eggs yesterday, and put that in my bowl already. So I'm gonna put my one fresh egg in there, one egg. And we've got our 3 tablespoons of bacon grease or shortening, and then we got our butter already in our pan. Now I got to put a little salt. Let's see, 1 teaspoon of this kosher salt. I'm gonna put a teaspoon of salt. Got my butter in, I got my salt, got my buttermilk, got my egg, got my cornmeal, got my flour. Okay. What else? There's something else. Y'all know of anything else? Seems like I'm forgetting something. Well, let's see. I don't know if we are or not. We're going to go ahead and mix this. And let's see, won't we? Let's mix our cornbread around there. Get rid of going. See, that comes together pretty good when the buttermilk and that soda, that reacts together, it lifts. It lifts your bread up, so let's see how it works. Alright, we're going to put this on. Let me move my bowl. Grandma's bowl out of the way over here. And then I'm going to put my oven on 450. I'm going to put my oven on 450. Okay, let me see how this is doing over here. Let me go ahead and heat that up just a hair. See, that's got your bacon, and that'll kind of, when you cut this, flop it out and cut it, it'll have bacon on the top. I guess what I could do, let me get some buttercream, olive oil is butter. I'm going to put just about half teaspoon to a teaspoon in my batter. Since this I didn't put it inside, I want it to lift. So, alright, see now that's skillets. Okay. Now let's just put our well, you can smell that bacon cooking, y'all. Don't waste none. Get it all out of there. These bowls have gotten so heavy it's hard for me with my arthritis to hold them. But I try until I can get at least most of it out of there. At least most of it. Oh, General Electric bowl is pretty heavy. I'm just gonna kind of put that down in there. May have got a little too much grease and butter, but I don't think you can ever have too much grease and butter. Just a minute, y'all. Alright, we're gonna turn our oven on to bake. At 450, remember. Okay, we got that, and we're going to put it on. I'd say I'm just going to bake this on regular 25 minutes. Let's do 22 and then we'll know. Let me kind of shake that and get that down in that pan. Okay, now we're going to stick that in the oven. Let's start our oven up to 450. Got our, see how that's kind of become more gelatinous? There's another little brown spot. See that other little bitty brown spot? I'm gonna get that out of there right there. And get that out. Okay. Let me get this mixed in, and then when I put that other in there, it'll even out. Let me get these bowls. I gotta get my mess cleaned up. And let me see how much more of this roast or pork. I'll let that go ahead and stay on, release its steam itself for a little bit longer. And then when I get back with the cornbread, we'll fix something to eat. Film cut off, but what I did is I just get a cheap, I buy this instant white rice, and so I put 2 cups and a can of diced tomatoes in this. You can see it with the cabbage. See how that rice, and then when you take that out, you can put a little cheese on it or whatever you like. But this is so healthy, it's unreal. So we got that cooked. We're almost ready to eat, y'all, if you're here. Let me get the cornbread out. It just went off. It just started hollering. So I'm going to take that out. Got a little brown, but not too bad. Let's put some, I've been using this squeezed butter because I don't want to, it's not really butter, it's squeezed something, but I'm going to go ahead and, since I made homemade cornbread, then at least I could do is put some good butter on it. And we'll do that. Because there's nothing like good butter and cornbread. I'll leave that out so we can butter it a little more. And get that. That's a good cornbread, good buttermilk recipe. Oh, it's hot. Hot, hot, hot. Hot as you know what. See that cornbread just soaks that up. I like buttermilk cornbread because it seems like it's, for convection of it, it seems better because even though I didn't have the big convection on it, it's still a quick oven. I think that it makes the cornbread more moist. If you use the old-timey recipes that are not buttermilk, or the recipes that are not buttermilk, I feel like they get dried out and they get hard. This will be hard as a brick bat. But if you'll put that on, let me get my other board here. One of the old cooking boards, but I use it for my cornbread. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to get some of Uncle Pete's famous barbecue sauce. I got it from him yesterday. And I'm going to put some in this flash here. I'm just going to put that much. I'm going to heat that up. Now, this is a 100-something-year-old recipe, and he's the one I told you I'm going to collaborate with. But you don't really have to keep that in the icebox. It's shelf stable the way it is. But I'm going to heat this just a second. I'll be right back to get that plate. Get her plate finished. She won't eat a big piece of cornbread. So I'm going to do 2 small cornbreads on here. Let me get a little bit of butter on the back of my spoon. That's the way I put butter on stuff, like that. And we'll get that over there, like that. Then I'll slice this little garden tomato. I already rinsed them, and make sure the barbecue sauce. I don't want to get too hot. Pretty hot. Oh, it smells good. If y'all could just smell that barbecue sauce, my Lord, you wouldn't know what hit you. I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to slice this fresh tomato. Fresh garden tomato. Up there. See there? Put just her a little bit of salt on it. She likes a little salt. On the tomato, a little pepper. Okay, we got that. Let me set this right here. Big spoons out. I'm going to make sure that probably could be a little harder, just a hair harder. That is so good, y'all. Can't imagine. That is the best. The best. Oh, where is let me get another spoon and I'll kind of dip down in here. Get a little bit of this cabbage and rice, which is going to be really good for her if she'll eat it. Okay. Now then, that looks good there. I'm not going to drizzle a lot. She thinks anything's too hot, but I'm not putting much because it's not hot, but she'll say it's hot. So we don't want her to think it's hot. Give her a little fork and make sure the plate's put together right. That's a piece of cabbage, your tomatoes. Put a little of that butter down around on that cornbread. Now I gotta have that bite. It's my mama's plate, so it's okay. All right there it is. Roast with Uncle Pete's barbecue sauce, which we'll discuss more later. Our broccoli, cabbage, and rice. Fresh garden tomatoes. Fresh buttermilk cornbread. That's what we're having. Wish y'all was here to eat with us. God bless you. God bless us. God bless the United States. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.